Well, it's a blustery day here, and this week was supposed to be about priorities. However, I think you'll see that I end up being distracted. I hope you enjoy this video. Welcome back to my garden. This week I've got some priorities of things that I'd like to get done, as well as the ongoing rose deadheading that's happening now. This is now the peak time for getting the flowers deadheaded, to keep them coming more and more and more. Rose pruning makes for a bonny coloured bucket of dead heads. The first place I'd like to do something in is my little front gardens. They're just really in desperate need of doing something. I need to look at whether I can put an arch back up here. It probably will have to be in the autumn, but in the meantime it just can't stay like this. So I'm not sure this is number one priority, but it's definitely up there with things that need doing. And although the beautiful geranium is looking gorgeous and the rose Joseph's coat is flowering well, there are great big weeds around the bird feeders. Tottering by gently is looking stunning though. Another thing for this time of year is pruning my box. So it needs a good old trim, both the sphere and the cube there. I'll not trim the pyramid. I'll just let that grow for the moment because it's still in the humper having been dug up. I'm going to try and get the rest of the greenhouse down this week. As you can see, I have managed to get half of it down, and the half that's down I've actually managed to get the stuff away to the skip. But I need to get the glass away to the allotment. The reason this half's left is because the nuts and bolts are seized, and so it was a bit more difficult to get that bit down. But I thought I could keep these gutter sections and maybe do something with them for the polytunnel. So they'll be staying here for the moment. Also, this area leading up to the shady bench just needs a good clear up. There's rocks there, there's a bit of a pile of soil going on, and I just dumped the lilac branches and the bit of apple that I've been pruning. That would also be quite a step forward. And one of my priorities this week is to get this second bed finished. I'll give you a polytunnel update later on, but things are coming along really well there. First, and that has to be getting in the second bed. There's a bit of a stump in the way, so that needs doing first. And you can see I've got 3 sides done. That's because I don't want to move my soil twice, and there's nowhere to move it to. So I build a heap, build my bed round it, and then put the 4th side in. But there's a sneaky tree stump in the way. So today anyway, my priority is getting that out. See it moving. One down. Might have done it. Nearly. One more go. Yes. Hooray. Well, that took some doing, but it's out now. That means I can finish the bed. Meanwhile, I've got a sneaky project that's just come into my brain. And now that that's out, it's dig, level, screw, staple, fold, and rake. Well, that's done, and I'm so pleased I haven't had to move any of the soil out. I'm not sure it's going to take an extra bag of compost though, but I'm going to try. Well, I managed to get the extra bag of compost in. It's all been raked, and I'm now going to give it a good water and let it settle for a few days before I put any plants in or do any seeds. On to the next thing that wasn't a priority until I decided it definitely was a priority today. Well, it just occurred to me that this old chair might be a good quick project. It was given to me over a year ago by someone who thought I'd do it up, but it is an estate. This is all rotten. I've already taken out all the wet wood, and I've used wood hardener to reinforce where I've dug out the wood, and I've filled it with some wood filler. And I took a template from the old seat, and I found a bit of plywood that I can just cut to make a new seat. Well, it does fit. It's a bit short at the back, but that was just the width of the piece of wood that I found that was suitable. So I just get the support screwed in. And then I'll almost be ready to give the wood a bit of a revive. It's looking a bit dry and in a sorry state. I've come inside because it's so blustery and the rain keeps wanting to come down. So how lovely to have this inside space to just finish this chair off. I've poured some leftover Danish oil into a saucer, and I'm going to give the whole thing a coat, and it should dry in nicely because the wood is so dry. Look at that gorgeous colour. Wonderful. My brother brought it for me. He found it in someone's garden that was getting thrown out, and he just knew that I'd like to do something with it. It's a shame it's waited till now, but here we go. Anyway, I'll show you how it looks right at the end. I'll have a good experimental sit down on it. In the end, the box did get cut. Well, the two beds are looking wonderful side by side. I'm already running out of space though. I think I'll be resorting to pots maybe. The Primula looking good. And I'm so pleased I left that fern at the bottom of the new step. Shropshire Lad looks magnificent. And so does Lady of the Lake. As you can see, it's still blustery here, and the wind has brought down one of the branches. That's because it needs pruning and tying in. The plants in the holding area are doing well. The spare leeks in the pot, they're growing. Potatoes are looking good. I'll have plenty of harvest this year. This week the orchids have started to flower. One came into the garden many years ago when someone gave me an iris. Following year, and a little orchid came up in the middle of the pot, and from there it spread to nearly all of my pots that I have had alpines in. They look gorgeous with the alpine catchfly. This rose has a good scent. It's absolutely fabulous, and it's the rose I followed last year for the phenology wheel, but it was so wet during the year it never made a rose hip. I tidied up all the back of this part during a blustery rainy day the other day. There was not much else I could do, and I couldn't get the camera out because it was raining. Now there's an nasturtium planted on top of the soil heap. I might as well prettify the heap rather than have it just look bare. And in the tunnel, things are looking pretty good. potatoes are absolutely huge and they've got their flower buds on. The tomatoes have started to lengthen. And I've had my first harvest of lettuce. In fact, I've been eating it all the time. It's been stir fried, it's been in sandwiches, all sorts. Things I've sowed are through, so the beetroot's through. That's ginger root. I'm hoping that I can grow it for the root. I've grown it for just being ornamental before. All the strawberries are looking good, and I've had 3 or 4 off. I love my teapot with the begonia in and the trailing geranium. Not quite flowering yet, but it won't be long. And all my seedlings are starting to come through. I think I've already run out of space for the sweet corn. Goodness knows where it's going to go. I don't think the back beds will be done by the time it wants to go in. I am looking forward to harvesting the pea shoots. They haven't taken long, just about 10 days to get to that size. Well, the chair got finished. I managed to give it 1.5 coats of the Danish oil, and it's made the wood look really lovely. And I gave the seat a coat of the blue paint. Really, all I need now is a cushion to sit on and I'll be fine. Here you go, catch. Well, in the end, I was pleased that my priorities changed, and I'm very pleased that I got the chair done and a cushion done for a place to sit. If you want to see how I did the cushion, check out Marian's World tomorrow. It'll be one of the little projects that I start tomorrow's video with. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.